Here with you at Bengals Stadium, the Wayzata Trojans in town and receiving the opening kickoff and receiving a warm welcome to Bengals Stadium as we welcome you into this coverage of, well, to borrow a term, the last dance here for both of these teams. No matter what happens, this is the final game, as that has been the situation here in 2020, and one of these teams gets to fight for one more win. In some cases to close out a high school career, in other cases to close out what will hopefully go down as the oddest season that they'll ever have been a part of. The Trojans come in at 2-4. We'll talk a little bit about what's behind that record, but the Blaine Bengals at 5-1, certainly the team to watch in this one. They've climbed into the top 10 as they have their first defensive play, and it's a run play for Anthony Richmond, the senior tailback for the Wayzata Trojans, who came in with just over 640 yards. And he's able to push the football just past the 20-yard line for a short gain, as he's out just past that 20. And they'll give him a gain of 2. And so it'll be 2nd down and 8. This is a heavy run team as they'll do it again, and this is a heavy defensive front for the Blaine Bengals, and that time it's the linebacking core of Will Fredrickson to get up there and make the tackle behind Zachary Peterson at the defensive line. And that'll drop the Trojans back behind the 20-yard line. Put them back at the 20, at the 17.
And 11 for the Trojans.
Make it the 18-yard line and make it 3rd and 11. So a couple of carries right into the belly of the beast. What's been a very good run defense. They gave up net 0 yards to Anoka last week. First play action fake and first throw is too high from the quarterback Ryan Harvey. He was looking out over the middle to one of his top targets, Julian Dietrich, and it will be a 3 and out, a punting situation for the Trojans on their first possession. So 3 plays and nada for these Trojans, who won last week 35-0 against Burnsville. They've had the tough schedule. They have played 4 top 10 teams prior to this. The Bengals coming in this week at number 7 in both the Metro top 10 and the 6A top 10. And so this will be game number 5 against the top 10 team. They've lost their first 4, have the Trojans. That's what you get coming off a championship season a year ago. Talk more about the Bengals as they get this football. Josh Schlungen will be a big part of that as he makes the fair catch into Wayzata territory at the 46-yard line. And that's where this Bengal offense, high-flying Bengal offense with a quarterback in the top 20 in touchdowns, top 2, tied for 2nd rather in 6A in touchdown passes. The tailback Josh Schlungen, 7th in the state in rush yards, 2nd in 6A. And as a team in 6A, 7th most points and 4th most total yards of offense. And they get to start on the positive side of the field at the 46-yard line. They'll take over with just 10:51 remaining in this quarter, and straight up the gut goes Josh Schlungen. Last week he ran for a school record 291, and he gets this one started rumbling out to the 30-yard line. They'll mark him down at 31 for a gain of 13.
First down.
And first down for the Bengals. A gain of 15 from the 46 to the 31. It's actually Hayden Zank who's in at quarterback, and he tries to fling it out to the left-hand side. It's incomplete. Zank, a senior quarterback at 6'2", 190 pounds. The starter throughout the year has been Tyler Schuster, who's been one of those top quarterbacks. Quickly scanning the sideline, and there he is. So number 10 standing there. But again, this is the last game no matter what happens. And so a couple of seniors who have shared some quarterback duties. Zank has not gotten to start games, and so he's getting that opportunity now for his second-year head coach Mike Law. And they will run it with Schlungen. And Josh Schlungen going off the right-hand side pushes the football close to the 26-yard line. And that's where they will spot him on a gain of 5. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. So we come up on 10 minutes remaining here in this first quarter. Glad you're with us here on North Metro TV. The Bengals getting their last shot, 5-1 through their first 6 games. The only blemish, a 26-14 loss in week 2 to Maple Grove. Zank pistol bound with that tailback off to his right. He's got one wide receiver to the right, Dylan Myers, who's been the big play target of late, the big 6'4" senior for the Bengals. alone over there. Stepanek widest out to the left. They'll give it to Schlungen. He's got a big hole, and he bursts ahead, breaks a tackle at the 15, and carries some tacklers down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. He picks up 12. And it'll be a first down and 10 for the Blaine Bengals. Drive that started inside Wayzata territory for this Bengal team that has put up 33 points per game. 404 yards of total offense to do it. As mentioned, one of the top teams in all of 6A in total offense. Top 5 there, top 5 in rush yards. Big part of that is Schuster and Schlungen. Right now, though, it's Hayden Zink who can use his legs, too. This time he gives it to Schlungen, who draws 3 tacklers right at the 10, and he's still able to spin his way inside the 11-yard line and keep the momentum moving forward. They'll give him 10 yards. So all Josh Schlungen on this drive. He came in with over 140 carries for 1,040 rush yards. 10 touchdowns, 7 yards per carry. He gets it again, bursting off the right side, and he's met as he crosses that line of scrimmage. Drags one tackler, Danny Sandal. The strong safety just close to the 5-yard line. It will be third down, so he's short of first down yardage. He's just short of the 5.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
It'll be 3rd down and 1. You get tricky here, maybe take 2 plays. Zink will not get tricky. He gives it to Schlungen, who piles his way ahead for the yard he needed. He's inside the 5, so he breaks that tape to make it 1st and goal. Good stand by the Trojans to push him backwards, though. Keep him from getting even more. The Trojan right at the base of that. Hayden Davidson, one of the top tacklers on this Wayzata team. But it is 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. A drive that has belonged to Josh Schlungen. One incomplete pass. The rest have been Schlungen runs for number 25. He's offset to the right hip of Hayden Zink. They'll pitch it right side. Space, walks into the end zone. Touchdown Bengals. Their first drive. They go 46, all on the legs of the tailback, Josh Schlungen.
3 yards away for a Bengal touchdown.
8th play of the drive, the 3-yard touchdown run for Josh Schlungen.
Dahlman in to attempt the point after.
Parker Dahlman will make his way in. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and the kick is good. Dahlman's been very good throughout this season for the Bengals. 28 of 26 now, 27 of 29 now, as he puts that one through the uprights. So it's 7-0 Bengals. Their first drive following a punt from the Trojans on a 3-and-out. Bengals last 4 games with victories, and they have started to pile up the points in the last 3. We'll welcome you live as well. Apologies, we missed the opener of this one, working through the technology, but our crew here getting us set with everything we needed to get back on the beam. So glad you're watching live and stuck with us. All you missed is a 3-and-out for the Wayzata Trojans after the opening kickoff, and then the Blaine Bengals. I think you got that touchdown live, capping off an 8-play, 46-yard drive. That was all Josh Schlungen. He went for a school record last week. 291, 3 touchdowns. As Dahlman will send this one right to the painted B in Blaine in the end zone, and the Trojans will pull it back out to the 20-yard line. Took 2 minutes and 57 seconds off the clock on that drive. And now the defense back out there. It has been a strong defense. We mentioned last week net 0 rush yards. Their rushing defense has improved steadily each passing week since week number 3. Right here, they set the Trojans on the 20-yard line. They tried 2 runs and a pass and got nothing. Snap comes back. They'll run it again, and the pile forms immediately, causing Richmond to bounce off to the left, and he'll nose the football to the 25. Told you he's been effective. 5 touchdowns, averaging 5 yards per carry, and that's exactly what he got right there on first down. So it'll be 2nd down and 5. Bengal defense the last 3 weeks allowing 10, 26, and 13 total points. Snap comes back, play fake, and a quick slant caught left side by Dietrich. And he's got a first down out past the 35 to the 37-yard line. And so the first completion for Ryan Harvey, the quarterback. He came in 55% on the completion percentage, 847 yards and 8 touchdowns. But a heavy, heavy rush offense, as you could see from what they did last week against Burnsville. Ran for 253 in that game. As Harvey will step up towards the line. Now he'll motion his tailback. It's Richmond again. He is the main bell cow back as he'll dive across the 40-yard line before he's piled under by the Bengal defense, that time led by Cody Foster. The linebackers are good for the Bengals. Foster leading the way for the most part with that crew. Jordan Gresseth as well. But if they're making tackles like that, you know you've given up a chunk, and that's a second first down run of 5 yards for Richmond to set up second and short. He did it on the last set of downs and picked it up here. They'll play fake it to him again, try that quick slant. It was the exact same play calls 2 times in a row. That one, though, was low. Fourth-year head coach Lambert Brown, last year the runner-up for the High School Coach of the Year, the Don Shula High School Coach of the Year award, after his team went 13-0 unbeaten to a state title. Here it's a 3rd down and 5. Bengals trying to get off the field after 1 first down from the Trojans. Single wide either side, tight end motions to the right. Play fake, looking for that right side wide receiver, and Dietrich's got it right into his breadbasket down the sideline, and he's finally forced out of bounds. Luke Johnson held on to that shirt tail long enough. The only thing that stopped Julian Dietrich from going into the end zone for the 6th time this season. All it does is set up 1st and goal for the Trojans. From the 8-yard line, 52 yards on the pitch and catch. Dietrich, his second big catch of the night so far. He'll split out wide to the left. They'll give it instead inside, and a great diving play made by Will Fredrickson to cut down the legs of Anthony Richmond. He was able to fall forward for a minimal gain down to the 7. Quickly to the line of scrimmage with just less than 6 minutes to go, and now Harvey and company will look back towards the sideline. That tight end on the right is Luke Bodine. Been a pass catching threat this year. Right now he's lead blocking off that left side, and a little bit of space down to the 5 before Fredrickson closes that one up. Supported by Jordan Gresseth back there as Richmond can't get completely rolling, and it'll be 3rd and goal. So the Bengals a chance to bend and not break. Trojans have attempted just 1 field goal this season, so you would think in this scenario, this is it. You're going to go for broke in these types of games. They would try it, maybe a couple of downs. So maybe 2 to get the touchdown, but it's 3rd and goal right now. Richmond diving ahead. They won't need another down. He'll pour it in from 3 yards out. So an 80-yard drive, the 52-yard toss, the big play. And it set up the Trojans with their first score and a PAT away from tying it. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Andy Vrudny, the junior, converts that. 10 of 10 on PATs this season. And so the 8-play drive mirroring what the Bengals did. Longer field, though, to go 80 yards and do it in 2 minutes and 53 seconds. So 2 drives for each team, 1 for each team, under 3 minutes, resulting in a score. And we've still got 5 minutes to go in this first. Trojan offense, again, they've struggled against top teams. They played Prior Lake to a 1-point game when Prior Lake was a top 3 team to start this season. St. Michael Albertville, currently a top 3 team, lost by a touchdown. Eden Prairie held them to 13 points and won that one 36-13. And then Shakopee shut them out 2 weeks ago. Shakopee make it number 8 team in the state. Number 8 team in the Metro top 10 coming in today. All-time leader in kick return yards at Blaine High School. Spencer Logan is back. He's top into your screen. They'll pop this one up. It will be towards him at the 5, where Logan takes it, running up the seam, and they draw a crowd right at the 20 and push him backwards. Look like Eddie Beninga was the man who closed up the gap for Spencer Logan. Parker Wolf, injured Trojan, working his way off the field. The Bengals take over at the 20 with 4:56 to go. Let's see what the quarterback situation becomes, and it is still Hayden Zink back out there. Again, not a totally foreign concept, as it'll snap back instead to Schlungen.
The ball carrier, no gain on the play.
And he's stopped right there at the line of scrimmage. Trojans have come to play here. And that touchdown firing up this defense as well. Zank and company will peak. 4 down line front. It's a Trojan defense. So far this year has given up 300 yards a game and 21 points, but in games they have won, it's been shutout fashion. Burnsville and Minnetonka. 2 victories, and they've shut them both out. Pass comes to Logan on the near side, and he gets away from a man. Little space, it looks like a kick return down the sideline, and Spencer Logan's got a first down and more as he's out to the 45-yard line. First completion for Hayden Zink, and it goes to the record holder, Spencer Logan, the senior. So you're a guy who has the record for kick return yards, huh? Well, let's get it to you in space. He made one man miss. And la-di-da, there he goes, right out to the 45-yard line. First down and 10 on a 25-yard pickup. As we're under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Zank gives to Schlungen. Made the pass work to keep him honest. Still tough yards for Josh Schlungen to get past the 50-yard line into Wayzata territory. He picks up 6. The story of Josh Schlungen in this offense. Yes, Tyler Schuster's been very good. We'll see if he plays in this game again. He's on the sideline in his gear. We'll see if they trade off quarters or what it might be. But Josh Schlungen has had and accounted for 53% of the offensive touches for the Blaine Bengals. Won't get one this time. Zink looks to throw. Deep for Stepanek. Behind a man and just a step too far. Elijah Dale, the sophomore, was along for the ride in coverage, and Stepanek nearly used that separation speed. Couldn't do it. Max Stepanek started the year as the big play guy, and he's only recently been usurped by Dylan Myers. Stepanek still averaging 13.5 yards per catch. He's got the most receptions of any receiver on this team. Josh Schlungen still has him by 3 in that category, but Stepanek leads the receiving corps. Touchdown to his credit. But Myers now has 5 touchdowns, and he's averaging 22 a reception. Big plays for him. They'll sling it out towards Logan, and they'll call that an incomplete pass. The Trojan sideline thought that was backwards. And it was thrown over the left shoulder of Logan and incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
And it is 4th down.
Incompletion brings up 4th down.
So the back-to-back incompletions. Bengals unable to convert, and they'll have their first punt. Clock stopped with 3:01 to go. Here comes Parker Dahlman. Been good this season, too. Punt average dropping a handful inside the 20-yard line. Drew Birkland back to return this. Low snap. Dahlman gets it, a good spiraling kick that will angle at the 15, rolling down. Can they get there? It's going to roll out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, and Parker Dahlman's done it again. Look at the high fives. We saw him do that at Centennial with a Butte a few weeks ago. And it was Nathan Carlson, the senior defensive back, bursting down the field to make sure, but I think that was perfectly angled towards that coffin corner out there, and it was going to go out of bounds on its own volition, but Carlson made sure that it was headed out of bounds. So the offense will try to regroup there. That's been a rarity, the early punt for this offense. But Dahlman, with 2:51 to go in the quarter, pins him back at the 4-yard line. Harvey, the snap, the give. Richmond contacted immediately. And it's Will Fredrickson who's flying around. That was actually Sean Diedrich who got the carry that time, spelling Richmond. No gain, maybe a loss.
Diedrich, the ball carrier.
Put him at the 3.
Brings up second down.
So it is a loss of 1. It's 2nd and 11. Well, Fredrickson, he is injured earlier this year, missed a couple of games, but the senior making the most of his final appearance in the Columbia Blue. The ball is nosed out past the 5-yard line to the 6 by Diedrich. So he'll pick up 3.
Gain of 2 on the play. Brings up third down.
That'll be 3rd down. About 8 to go. Chance to keep the field position in their favor. The offense already up, huddling, standing on their tiptoes, ready to storm back out there and take this ball back. Defense needs to make one more stop on what's officially a 3rd down and 9. Need to get the football close to the 15-yard line for the Trojans. 4 down linemen, they just send the 4. The pass is intercepted. No, it's Will Fredrickson who's got a club on his left hand. He might have brought that one in with 2 healthy hands, but he knocks it down, stops the clock with 1:35 to go. That looked like it was going to be right in his breadbasket. And it caught a whole lot of those chest pads. Knocked it down incomplete. 1:35 to go. And so Josh Slungen, we'll see if he gets a chance to return this. Theo Smith, the punter, standing deep in his own end zone. High punt. No chance to return for Slungen. Bengals just get away from it here as it bounces down at the 31-yard line. And the Bengals, for the 2nd time in 3 drives, will have a positive territory start. This one even 15 yards better than the last. 1:27 to go in this quarter. Well, it's a flurry of activity to close this week for obvious reason. North Metro TV, that's North Metro TV, has you covered. NorthMetroTV.com. We got volleyball, football also rolling tomorrow to close things out for Spring Lake Park and then the Blaine Bengal volleyball team. And we appreciate you tuning in. 1:27 to go. Here's Tyler Schuster for the first time. The quarterback did not start in the stead, the other senior Hayden Zink. Gives it to Schlungen, breaks some tackles at the point of attack, and noses the football to the 25-yard line before he's eventually pulled roughly down by Jack Clausen, the senior for the Trojans. At the 24. They gave him 8, so it'll be 2nd and a long 2. 1:04 and spinning. Schlungen's offset to the left, tied in on the right side. It's actually Stepanek. Design run for Schuster, puts a man in the deck with the stiff arm. And reaching for that stick. Unable to get past the 20, but enough for a 1st down. And I think he got out of bounds as well. We'll see if they spin it from 56 seconds. So 4 yards on the design. Schuster keeper, he's rushed for 406 and 7 touchdowns on the ground this year for the senior Schuster. They have not spun the clock yet, so he did get out of bounds. It'll go on the snap from 56. Still in the first quarter, tied at 7. Schlungen, a high feed to him. Had a little bit of a bobble coming off the pads there to secure that. Got down to the 28, to the 18. Picking up 2. Be a 2nd and 8. 40 seconds and counting in the quarter. Bengals in no hurry, but still need to get a play off before the quarter break. 2 to the right, Stepanek on the line. Schlungen to the left. Looking to throw to Schlungen. He releases, he's open. Touchdown, Bengals. Schlungen once on the ground, once through the air, and why not? That's how it's gone all year for the Bengals. And number 25 carries them to a 6-point lead. Dahlman on to try and give them a 14-7 lead with 20 seconds to go in the quarter. A minute 7 off the clock on what became a 4-play drive. Dahlman up and good. 14-7. The Bengals with the lead. They played the field position. Dahlman's tremendous punt started it, pinning Wayzata inside the 5-yard line. Bengal defense got the stop with no first downs. Took over at the 31-yard line after a high short punt from the Trojans and punch it in, courtesy of the little wheel route. Kind of that same concept. Not as much wheel to it, coming all the way out of the backfield. He basically just went up to the line as a blocker and then released. Playing off that designed run concept that they've done for Schuster on second down. Same side of the field. Instead of blocking, though, he just let go. Schuster let it go and lofted it to him perfectly. Those two have had the connection here in 2020. We've got our connection here for this game live, thanks to Jeremy Millington.
Bengal fans, everybody up for the kickoff.
Getting here, resetting that. Rand doing the tough work up top, setting things up. And Preston's back in the control room, keeping everything rolling. Making sure you can get this last dance game in for the Blaine Bengals and the Wayzata Trojans as Dahlman puts it into the end zone, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line.
First and 10 for the Trojans from their own.
For the Trojans, 20 seconds left. Get one play and then set up camp again in the second quarter. Those guys the credit for tonight, but Kenton Kipp, Jeremy Millington leading the charge throughout this wild fall to get as many games as we have on the air. Not a surprise for those of us that work with them on a consistent basis, but tremendous work to provide that service to folks. 4-down lineman for the Bengals. Richmond had a hole and veers off to the left where he runs into Luke Johnson down in run support. And that's likely going to take us to the second quarter. A pair of touchdowns, one through the air for Schlungen, one on the ground for Josh Schlungen. The Trojans have answered once, and they'll try to do it again from the 25-yard line. They won't get this play off before the quarter break. 14-7 after one. Bengals with the lead here in their final game of the fall of 2020 on North Metro TV. We'll be back after this. Back with you here at Bengals Stadium, the site of this final game of 2020 for the Bengals and Trojans. No matter what happens, this was part of tournament play, trying to wind their way to a Saturday potential semifinal game next week. But as it sits, this is all they'll get. So trying to make the most of it here. All you can do is go out and play if you're these young men, as they'll run it up the middle. Richmond out to the 26-yard line, picks up 2. He's been the main back. Spelled a couple of times by Sean Diedrich. The 3rd down and 4 officially. 20 seconds gone in the second quarter, 14-7 Bengals. Stifling defense. Gave up one big play, a 50-plus yard pass that set up the first Trojan touchdown. Harvey, we'll see if he throws here on 3rd and 6. He won't. Richmond, not a lot of room. He's pushing the pile and bouncing off the pile until he's nearly got his helmet taken off by IBK Mafe, who finished things off. And it will be 4th down. Got as far as the 28-yard line to pick up 2. Clayton Huber got things started before Mafe ended thoughts of a little burst out of the pile. As we're giving accolades, no matter what you thought of this fall or whatever, your opinions on playing high school sports, it wasn't up to these kids. And once they were told they could play, they went out, put in the work, and made it happen. So they deserve a lot of credit for all sorts of adversity that a lot of us as teenagers didn't have to even think about. Schlungen on the return. He'll push it back out past the 45 to the 46-yard line. And that's where the Bengals will take over.
Schlungen on the return to the Bengal 46-yard line.
So they will start in their own territory, but close to midfield with 10.5 to go here in the second quarter.
1st and 10 for the Bengals.
They'll bunch 3 receivers off to the right. Finn McCauley among them. Junior has played a lot of linebacker this year. He was the starter that came in when Will Fredrickson was injured. Schlungen will motion to the left of Schuster. Stepanek all alone on that left side. A design run for Schuster, trying to find a seam. Has to bounce back towards the middle, and the Trojans are right there. Dominic Heim followed him around. Brought him down at the 47 for a gain of 1. So not a lot on track so far in the run game for Schuster. He is a dual threat, though. He's been over 100 yards of total offense in all 6 games, averaging close to 185 of total offense per game. That's passing and running. And captained this offense the rest of the way. Nothing from Myers yet. He's split wide outside of the slot receiver, Spencer Logan. Stepanek on the line. Give to Schlungen. Schlungen cuts up field, didn't have the blocking, and he was met by Drew Streeter, the junior for the Trojans. Pulled him down before he could really get rolling at the 48, so inching ahead for the Bengals. Haven't seen him have to do that very often this season. I'm curious if 36, it's listed as Finn McCauley. But Preston Myers, who also wears 30, has a similar build, and he's been playing tight end in the stead of the injured Jacob Imslander. We'll go with what we got. But that could be Preston Myers, in fact. Third down, and the Bengals a little confusion, so they will take a timeout.
Blaine, that's their first of the half.
First charge timeout for the Bengals here in the half. Don't see a 30 anywhere else on the sideline. We'll try and find some confirmation on that. We'll go with what we got, though. Bengals playing here tonight. We mentioned Spring Lake Park. They will play tomorrow, taking on Irondale, a team they already beat this season. Panthers have allowed just 6 points in their last 5 games. 4 shutouts for Spring Lake Park. They've outscored their opponents 153-6 in those 5. Meanwhile, the Centennial Cougars, they played Tuesday, and that'll become their last hurrah as they beat Lakeville North 36-14. Elijah Ward. Good close for the Cougars, 4 touchdowns. That was the big difference. Isaac Ankrum had the 5th. Congrats to the Cougars there, going out on a win on what was a tough season at times. 9:08 to go here in the second out of the timeout. Schuster with the shoe tie. He's up and ready to go. Dueling wide receivers either side. Myers and Stepanek the widest right and left. Schuster, the Red Sea parts up the middle. He fakes the jump throw as he pushes into Wayzata territory, well short of first down yardage. He realized smartly he was well beyond the line of scrimmage, or he was just trying to catch the defense, get him in the air to go around him. But either way, they're going to be short.
4th and 3.
5-yard pickup left them 3 short. And it's 4th down. Play that field position game again. The wind is a bit in the face of Parker Dahlman this time, but he should definitely at least have the legs still to put it inside the 15. We'll see what he can do angling it further. Daniel Oboye, stellar defensive lineman for the Bengals, leading the charge on this punt unit, making sure there's 11 on the field. Gets it snapped back to Dahlman. Fair catch called at the 16 and taken by the Trojans. Smart move and sure hands for Drew Birkland. Still a good punt. Field position change. Bengals' second punt. They have forced 3 from the Trojans so far, as the Bengals sitting on this 14-7 lead with 8:10 to go here in this quarter. Ryan Harvey. Pistol bound with a tailback behind him. That's Richmond. He will give it to Richmond. Looking to go straight up the middle. Bounces off potential tacklers, and he's met in the hole and ripped down. First man to meet him, Cody Foster. Got a little help from Joe Beckman to finish the play at the 19. Still picks up 3. Strong running for Anthony Richmond. Last week against Burnsville in their win, Richmond went for 131. Both he and Diedrich were over 100 yards. 118 for Diedrich. We've seen on one series so far. Now to the left hip of his quarterback, Harvey, goes Richmond. They'll fake it to him, throw it to a wide open Diedrich. That's Julian down the sideline, and he makes the grab at the 45. His second big catch of the game, had one of 51 earlier that set up a score. This one going for 26. Harvey's got the connection with Julian Diedrich, and a flag now is going to fly as an eager offensive lineman, Tyler Magnuson, the 6'5", 240-pound senior, bolted off the line early.
5-yard penalty, first down.
It's our first penalty. 7.5 to go. Back to the 40-yard line. Two split wide. Diedrich's the slot receiver. They'll run it. Space for Richmond. Stiff arms his way into Bengal territory to the 45-yard line. Picks up 25. Well, Fredrickson trailing to play, had to bring him down.
Second down.
It's a one-score game with 7-10 and counting. Quickly up to the line go the Trojans. They'll give it to Richmond again. This time he's pulled down from behind. That's the Bengal defensive line we've seen over the last few weeks.
Richmond picks up 2 on the carry. First down for the Trojans.
Brought down by Zach Peterson. Off the right-hand side.
Richmond, the ball carrier, to the 41-yard line.
There's an injured Wayzata player. As they're staring at a second down and 7 after the gain of 3 to the 41-yard line. Tending to the downed Trojan.
All fans must exit the stadium by the following posted exit signs. No fans will
So
be
6.5 to go.
the field of play.
Taking the helmet off of the injured offensive lineman. It's like Alex Rasmussen. So as mentioned, we've got volleyball tomorrow along with Spring Lake Park Panther football. That's the schedule as it stands now. These two teams, Bengals and Trojans, this is the 5th time they've met since 2008. Bengal devotees will certainly remember 2008 as Rasmussen up and will walk off under his own power. That one came at the Metrodome in the state championship game, won by the Trojans. In fact, the Trojans last year was their 4th state title, and twice they've beaten the Bengals in the state tournament on the way to titles. 2008 and 2010. But 08 was in the title game. Trojans have won 4 of those 5 meetings. Bengals, though, have taken the only meeting that occurred here. 2 neutral sites in there and 2 losses for the Bengals at Wayzata. Bengals won here in 2016, 33-21. Trojans back at it with a 2nd and 7. They'll run it again with Richmond, and he's dragged down by Fredrickson before he can cross the 40-yard line.
Tackled by Fredrickson.
Short gain.
No gain on the play.
They say no gain.
Brings up third
So it'll be
down.
3rd down and 7. Chance to stall him here. Trojans might play the field position game. Harvey to throw. Harvey pressured. all the way back into Bengal territory and just gets it away to Dietrich, but he's short of the line of scrimmage even, and the Bengals rally to the tackle. Could have been a big-time loss. Boye got back into the backfield quickly, and following him there was Cody Foster. Neither could bring down Harvey, who got the pass away to save some yardage. Overall, it will be a loss. Back to the 43. It'll be 4th and 9. Third, fourth catch already for Dietrich.
Smith to punt for the Trojans.
And it'll be a punt formation for Theo Smith. He's standing just back at his own 43-yard line. He'll roll and boot it. Schlungen the fair catch, moving up a step then back, and deemed to make that fair catch at the 12-yard line. So 3 straight punts after we had 3 touchdowns on the first 6 possessions of this game. Now the defense is settling in.
Bengal 12-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bengals.
Just 5.5 to go here in this first half. Schuster back out. Schlungen off behind him, staring at potentially 5 rushers. They will bring 5. They'll run against it with Schlungen. More of a run blitz, and it worked. Drew Berkland fills the gap and brings down Josh Schlungen. These are some of the hardest yards that we have seen in games for Josh Schlungen. And you can hear some of the fans in the stands calling for the offensive line to get that push, open up the holes. He can hit him, he can make a couple of guys miss and shed tacklers certainly, but the Trojans are filling those gaps. Schuster to throw, and it's too low for Stepanek, looking for the quick slant. And it'll be 3rd down and 10.
The incompletion brings up 3rd down.
5 minutes to go here in this first half. 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. That's Stepanek. Schuster looking Stepanek all the way, and he overthrew him. The coverage step for step with Alex Hart. Had 4 guys going deep to try and pick that one up.
Incompletion brings up 4th down.
And that'll bring up 4th. So a punt from the end zone. Now Dahlman really has to show what he's got. Put everything into this one. Try and drive Berkland back. The offense is stalling here in the late in the second quarter.
Berkland back deep for the Trojans.
This will be our 4th straight punt. Trojans looking to bring some pressure, maybe to the right side of Dahlman. Dahlman straight up off his foot. That looks remarkably similar to what happened to the Trojan punter Theo Smith in a similar situation. Berkland makes the fair catch. They'll put him at the 33-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Trojans.
So it's the Trojans, after a flush of punts here, that have gained the advantage in field position. 4:53 to go. The Bengal 33. 2 right, 1 left. Dietrich, he's been the one that's hurt him through the air. He's alone on the left-hand side. Dietrich also in the backfield. That's where they'll go with the run. And some space off the right side, past the 30. That's Sean Dietrich, the senior running back at 5'7", low behind the line of scrimmage. 28 carries for 528 coming in. Excuse me, that's his brother on the receptions. 286 on the ground and 3 touchdowns. Here he pokes this one ahead for 4 yards. And a 2nd and 6. Turn, give it to him again. He wants to run to the outside of the tackles, and he gets down to the 25-yard line before he's bear hugged by the defense on the edge. That was Jordan Gressiff. 4 more yards to the 25. Trojans will just continue to do that. Their offense mostly on the ground, 153 per game. on the ground. 2 right, 1 left. A third down. Chance for the Bengals to force a decision. It's Richmond back in. He runs straight up the gut. Ran into Oboye. And he's going to be stopped close to the first down, but I believe he's short. And we got the arms waving with 3:41 to go here in this second quarter. And they're going to say first down. I thought maybe we'd get a measurement. It's going to be just enough for a first down. So they'll spot him just inside the 23. Brought in Richmond, and he got it done straight up the gut. Clock spins, headed towards 3.5 to go.
Come on, D-line, go get it, come on!
Harvey to throw. Harvey pressured by Maffei, shovels it out to Dietrich. Can't bring him down. He's to the edge and finally bumped out of bounds, close to the 10-yard line by Will Fredrickson. At that point, saving a touchdown. But a 13-yard pickup on a scramble drill play, and credit Ryan Harvey, the junior 6'3" quarterback, for keeping his head and getting that flip away. He has proved elusive to some of these defensive linemen for the Bengals who have pursued him back. They've got to finish off some of these plays at some point. Full house backfield. Couple of tight ends / fullbacks in there. Richmond will get the carry, running right between them. Bengals settle in. Gresseth at the point of attack. Still 14-7, the Bengal lead. We had all 21 of those points scored in the first quarter. 3 minutes to go here in the first half now. Goal to go from the 8 after the pickup of 2. Richmond's the deep back. Bodine the tight end. Right side, Hayden Davidson is there as an extra blocker. They'll go left. Bodine gets out and pushes. Richmond diving inside the 5, and he's eventually stopped by Luke Studer. The safety in close quarters, bringing up a third down. Third and goal from the 4. High snap brought down by Harvey. He's trying to wind his way through, and he's in. Talk about keeping your head, and the roar from the far side of the Trojan fans as their junior quarterback, twice on that drive, kept negative plays from occurring. And the second one, he pokes it into the end zone. 2:17 to go and an extra point away from a tie game. 4-yard run for Ryan Harvey. And welcome back on the live side. Appreciate you staying with us. Extra point to tie, and it is good. 14-all. Ryan Harvey, the 4-yard run. You want to know how odd that is? Well, it's his first rushing touchdown of the season. He came into this game with 23 carries for -9 yards. That's not what they were looking for on that play, but credit the junior for making something out of nothing and turning it into 6 points. So the short field drive, they go 33 yards in 7 plays. And they take 2 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock. So all the touchdowns for the Trojans coming from rushing touchdowns inside of 5 yards. And drives under 3 minutes. All of our scoring drives have been well under, well, not well under, but under 3 minutes. 2:57 for the Bengal first, 2:53 for the Trojans' first touchdown. Those had been the longest too. Bengals get the football to start the second half, so a good, efficient drive here and a score can really put them in the driver's seat, but a long way to go until they get there. Kickoff for the Trojans. Logan back deep. He'll watch this one go into the end zone. Just a couple of yards in there. Keep him from adding to that return total. And he'll come out to the 20-yard line. 2:17 to go. So the Trojans will have to go 80 yards. Excuse me, the Bengals will have to go 80 yards. In 2:17, they do have 2 timeouts after spending 1 on offense last time out. It has been 2 straight punts for the Bengals, their last 2 offensive possessions. Schlungen on first down. Carries and runs over a Trojan in the hole, and he's got extra room out to the 50. What a play for Josh Schlungen. That's why you just need a little hole for Schlungen. And man alive, he can run some people over. And he takes it all the way out to the 46-yard line, 47-yard line on a 27-yard gain. First and 10, that's what you need. 4 wide receiver, Schuster looking to go deep right side, looking for Myers. Myers, the one-handed attempt, and he can't haul it in. Schuster, he's been just off target, a little deep on some of these sideline routes. Minute 52, pauses on the clock.
Pass ball is incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the Bengals.
He's overthrown Stepanek a couple of times, and that one, there was good coverage right there as well. Would have made it a tough throw to stick in there on Drew Streeter. But a little high, or a little deep rather. Schlungen, head of steam, hits the hole, and he gets into Trojan territory, and he's bent back. That time dragged down in the middle by Hayden Davidson. To the 48. So a 3rd down and 5.
Brings up 3rd and 5 for the Bengals.
Clock continues to run, under 90 seconds to go. You definitely don't want to give the ball back to the Trojans, as just off the mark the Bengals have been on some of their deep passes. You've seen the connection from Harvey to Dietrich. And the Bengals will spin one of their timeouts right here. Probably wish they'd done that a little earlier in the clock, but again, not looking to give the ball back to the Trojans. Keep the pressure on, but decide the better part of valor to spend the timeout there with 1:10 to go. Touchdown run of 3 yards for Josh Schlungen was answered by a touchdown run of 3 yards for Anthony Richmond for the Trojans. We were tied at 7. Still in the first quarter, Josh Schlungen, an 18-yard reception. Capped off a quick 4-play drive after a short field start at the Trojan 31. The Trojans just scored moments ago here late in the second quarter to tie this game at 14. A 4-yard touchdown run for the quarterback, Ryan Harvey. And now the Bengals with a 3rd and 5 near midfield. One more timeout to work with. .48 yards to go. You could also think Parker Dahlman field goal at some point, but they'd rather get 6. Myers and Logan wide to the right, and they're going to lose 5 yards here, at least according to the Trojans, and it is a false start on the Bengals. So each team with 1 penalty.
3rd down.
2 teams met last year. It was 19-0, so we've already got a much better battle brewing here today than we did to open up the season last year. 1:10 to go. 2 right, 1 left. Schlungen's going to motion out of the backfield. It's a 3rd down and 10. Schuster to throw. Wide open. Spencer Logan. He was open, and a great close coming over to knock it down for Drew Berkland. Playing exactly the way you want a safety valve to right there. And he gets over, gets in the way, and knocks it down, and gets his team a chance with 1:04 to go. So it was just a bit too slow developing. The design concept was there, but a good read in that secondary by Berkland to get over and break up that pass. I think it was going to be incomplete anyway, as it was breaking the trend for Schuster so far tonight, but just a little bit short. So crucial punt here for Dahlman. Berkland out to return this punt. Angled kick, he'll call for a fair catch. Given a little cushion just past the 26-yard line. They'll spot him at the 28. So now the Trojans, the defense did the work to keep it from being back-to-back scores on either side of the half for the Bengals. And now what does the offense have? 58 seconds, 3 timeouts. Bengals have now punted on 3 straight possessions. 4 of their 6 have ended up in punts. Of course, the other 2 ended up in the end zone, so we're tied at 14. Harvey takes the snap, looking to throw. Pressure coming, and he'll just get rid of it, throwing it down towards the feet of Dietrich there. He was bracketed by Cody Foster. Boye, Mafe,
Pass is incomplete.
and one more off that defensive line. We'll just go ahead and give it to Clayton Huber. Didn't grab who it was. Connor Morrison on the defensive line too. Could have been a candidate to get in there. Clock stops, 54 seconds to go, 2nd and 10. Need a big chunk. Diedrich's the tailback. The other Diedrich in the slot, right side. Give it to the tailback, bursting up the middle. Nowhere to go as he's brought down by Huber just past the 30. Close to the 32-yard line. So it's a gain of 4. Trojans muddling around the line. The 3rd down and 6. Clock continues to spin.
Gain of 2 on the play.
And they're not in a huge world of hurry here. So settling for maybe a couple of plays, maybe less. They do have timeouts to stop the clock after this, but they had 3 timeouts. They could have stopped the clock long ago. And now they'll do it with 15 seconds left.
Timeout.
I understand not wanting to give it back to the Bengals either, I suppose. It is 3rd and 8, so if you throw it and don't pick it up, you'll have to punt. And that's the decision that was made. So 15 seconds to go. This is it as it goes for these two teams. It'll be 7 games. And for each of these teams, even though this is technically the 2nd round, this is going to be their only playoff game. Both the 1st round opponents for these two teams canceled games because of the virus. So 6 games and a postseason contest. How it's going to shake out for the Bengals and Trojans in 2020. And who wins it? You'll see if the Trojans can strike a big play here. It's 3rd down and 8, and everybody moves on the right side. You think they were maybe going to go to Hunter Berthiaume?
Offense, number 4. That's a 5-yard.
Left his blocks like he was pushed out of them. And a false start. Just the 2nd penalty of the game. That'll move it back to the 32. Richmond's the tailback. Fake it to him. Harvey to throw. Clean pocket. Lets it go. Looking for Diedrich. And it's overthrown and incomplete. 9.5 seconds paused on the clock. And so the 4th down comes up and the punt unit comes out here. An opportunity to make a play on special teams for the Bengals, whether it's a return or a block. Schlungen will head out there.
4th down.
Likely not going to have a lot of time to do something after this. So it's Theo Smith's job just trying to get this one away. Avoid the disaster. Bengals pressuring straight up the middle. Didn't get it. Smith gets it away. And Schlungen will let it go, which will all but guarantee that the half comes to a close. And as long as the Trojans don't touch it, it certainly will. And it dies at the 11-yard line. So Smith did his job, got the punt away, and he gets us to halftime. 14-all. Trojans have answered the first 2 Bengals scores. Bengals have had a couple of leads at 7-0 and 14-7. They'll get the football back in a tie game when we come back in the 2nd half. From Bengals Stadium, a 14-14 tie in this postseason contest as you're watching it right here on North Metro TV. Just about to head to the 2nd half here in a tie ball game. 14-all after the first. Bengals get 2 touchdowns, 1 running and 1 receiving from Josh Schlungen. 3-yard touchdown run, 18-yard touchdown pass from Schuster to Schlungen. A 3-yard touchdown run for Anthony Richmond and a 4-yard touchdown run for the quarterback Ryan Harvey. Not a lot of offense overall. 166 of total offense for the Trojans. 74 of that on the ground, 92 through the air on some big plays for Harvey. All of his receptions, rather, of all of his completed passes to Julian Diedrich. 4 of 8 for Harvey, for those 92 yards, 17 for 51 yards for Anthony Richmond for those 166 of total offense. Bengals just 137 of total offense. Remember, they've had some short fields. 15 carries for 89 for Josh Slungin. Just 2 carries for 5 yards for Tyler Schuster. He hasn't been getting going very much on the ground. 2 of 7. Excuse me, he'll actually be 1 of 5. And then Hayden Zank, 1 of 2 through the air. 43 yards passing for the Bengals. I forgot Zank started this game at quarterback, but 137 of total offense. It's a game where the unofficial stats there at the half, they belie that this game had the last 6 of the last 7 drives ended punts. So basically the defenses have settled in. The offenses started splashy with 3 touchdowns combined in the first 6 possessions. But since then, punt city. And the duel between Theo Smith for the Trojans and Parker Dahlman for the Bengals. It's been a battle of field position. Bengals get the ball to start the second half, and the kickoff on the way left to right. Bang, there it is. And that's going to drive just inside the pylon to keep the penalty away. So it'll be at the 20-yard line to open up the second half for the Bengals with 12 minutes to go. We'll see if they can get this run game rolling. 89 yards and a half, not terrible for a high school running back, but not what we've seen from Josh Slungin, who went for nearly 300 last week. And it's got to start up front, get that push. We've seen what he can do one-on-one and in a little bit of space. And the offensive line that's been so good all season long, they've got to dig down deep here in what's the final game of the year. Find a way to get a push. It's a 6-man run blitz. Schuster's going to try to run out of it, and he's buried at the 20-yard line by Hayden Davidson. Not fooled on the keeper. No gain for Schuster. It's been hard yards for the senior. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Clock spinning, 20 seconds gone. Davidson's been flying around for these Trojans. It's been a pretty consistent look. 4 down linemen. Davidson, one of the widest in that, and then linebackers up to support. And a lot of times it's been 6 guys creeping in towards the backfield after the snap. Schuster and company trying to run against it. Now they'll throw, and they found Stepanek on the seam. It's a foot race for Max Stepanek. 1 man to run by. He'll stiff arm his way towards the end zone. And he's down at the 1. He beat the official to the goal line, and they say he's down at the 1-yard line. But a catch and run of 79 for Stepanek. Hit him on the seam, on the money. Schuster wasn't super accurate in the first half, but he put that one on the money, and now it's goal to go from the 1. Bengals to Schlungen. Schlungen into the end zone for the 3rd time tonight. And 58 seconds into the second half, the Bengals take the lead on a 3-play, 80-yard drive. Wow.
79 yards on that pass completion.
1-yard touchdown run, but the big play, the 79 through the air to Max Stepanek. Dahlman for the extra point. Plenty of leg, up and through. It's 21-14. And now the defense back on the spot. So it's been run blitz, run blitz, run blitz. Left it one-on-one on the outside. And Max Stepanek, the grab, the speed, and just 1 defender from the far side. I believe that was Andrew Westermeyer, who got over there to take him down and save the touchdown. But 1 play later, the 3-play, 80-yard drive capped off. That changes the look of the total offense right there. Puts them over 200. 1 play later, after we were talking about how this game had been stymied by 6 punts and 7 drives. Bengals hadn't scored since the first quarter. That one takes 58 seconds off the clock. So what can the defense do now?
For the Trojans. Bengal fans, everybody up for the kickoff.
I think somebody told Max Stepanek I said he wasn't the big play threat anymore in the first half. The numbers showed that it was Dylan Myers now, as this one's taken in the end zone by Diedrich. And it'll be out to the 20 for the Trojans. But that was as big as you get. His average in terms of yards per catch had gone down, mainly because he was picking up more catches. Stepanek had been close to 20 yards per catch for the better part of the early half of the season. Myers is up over that now. He's been skunked so far tonight without a catch. 58 seconds and a touchdown. So the Trojans trying to answer. Diedrich in the middle, nowhere to roll as he was taken down by Will Fredrickson. Support there coming up from Jordan Gresseth as well. Short gain out to the 22. Diedrich has been the secondary back in this game. Mentioned 51 yards on the ground for Richmond. Diedrich with 23 in that first half. 2nd and 8. See how that one big play and the touchdown drive fires up this defense. Harvey wants to throw. He's got man-to-man coverage. Finds Diedrich sliding to a grab out at the 40. He was isolated on Luke Johnson and ran right past him, and Harvey put it on the money. To the 41. Pickup of 19. Another catch for him.
41-yard line, 1st and 10.
And it's 1st down and 10. You look at a lot of these guys up and down this lineup. They're juniors. Richmond is a senior, the big tailback. But this Trojan team, tough schedule, down year with the record this year. But they'll look to be right back at it with some of the talent they're bringing back. Diedrich drives up to the 42-yard line. Picks up 1.
Diedrich, the ball carrier.
They'll spot it at the 43.
2 on the play.
So it's 2nd down and 8.
2nd down.
Splitting them wide. I don't think they've even targeted anybody but Diedrich. He's in the slot, right side, inside of Hunter Berthiaume. Harvey put it into the belly of his back, and he's immediately swallowed up.
Ball carrier wrapped up by Huber.
Clayton Huber. A bear hug to end all bear hugs. Brought him down for a loss at the 42. 3rd down and 9, trying to keep that momentum and get him off the field. They completed the big pass to convert the 3rd down moments ago. Went to Diedrich. He's in the slot again, right side. Single out to the left. It's Kinsey. Drop back. Pressured. Pushed away, and it is caught again by who else but Diedrich. He's back into Bengal territory. Was lifted up off his feet by Jordan Gresseth. And brought down, but he had 1st down yardage anyway to the 48.
The Bengals 48-yard line, 1st and
10.
10.
10-yard pickup, needed 8. And Harvey created that with his legs. The Bengals yet to finish off a play on the quarterback. They have pressured him a number of times. Haven't gotten a sack, and now who jumped? Looked like the left guard did. Blake Bergman, junior offensive lineman. Flag is down. If it's a false start, it'll be the 3rd of that variety for the Trojans in this game. It is a false start.
Number 67, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So it stays 1st down, 1st and 15. 2 big 3rd down pickups for the Trojans on this, their opening drive of the half. After the Bengals picked up a 79-yard pass play from Schuster to Stepanek to set up a 1-yard touchdown run. Now a high snap to Harvey, and this time Maffei will finish that play in the backfield on Harvey, dropping him at the 30 for a loss of 17.
Lost to the 30-yard line.
IBK Maffei was not going to miss that one. Part of that defensive line core that has been solid all year. And now they've got him behind the sticks. 2nd down, 23. Excuse me, they say 32. Yeah, 23 to get back to the original line of scrimmage. They've got to get past the 40 of the Bengals for a 1st down. Bengals will take a timeout. Didn't like what they saw there So that's their first. Second and officially 32. The stick for the first down is at the Bengal 38-yard line. Trojans at their own 30. Harvey has to escape. He'll tuck it. And he gets a little bit of something before he's upended at the 40-yard line. That was Luke Johnson bringing this stick. Payback for a couple of times that he's been beat through the air. 41-yard line, 11-yard pickup. Still didn't get back the entire loss on that high snap. Third down and a mile. Harvey splits two wide to the left. Diedrich, single coverage there with Jordan Gresseth trying to run with him. He's looking for Diedrich all the way, and he can't look anymore as he's ripped down to the deck by Oboye. Six-yard loss. And the defensive line oh so close several times in the first half. They've finished off two plays in the backfield now, one courtesy of a high snap, and that one straight pressure. Punt from the 25, a liner end over end taken by Schlungen and dropped by Schlungen, but he hopped down on top of it. And it looked like he got it. And they will make the early quick call for the Bengals. 6.5 to go here in this third quarter. And the Bengals will take it over, up 21-14. So they survive a couple of key third down pickups. The high snap does in the Trojans, putting them well behind the sticks. And a sack to finish off the defensive possession for the Bengal front. 36-yard line of Blaine for their first down. Schuster to Schlungen, straight up the middle. Schlungen dives past the 40. To the 41, he'll pick up 5. These Bengal fans have been treated to the Schlungen show over the course of this season. Mentioned how many touches he picks up. 9 touchdowns in the last 3 games coming in, and of course that's rushing and receiving. He's picked up 2 more rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown here tonight. Set as the tailback again on a 2nd and 5. They keep it on the ground. Schlungen trying to bounce to the outside, continues charging forward, causes a 4th Trojan to come over and bring him down. That was Birkland. Knocked him down short, about 2 yards short at the 44.
Brings up third down.
So you add what he's got tonight, 12 rushing touchdowns and 4 receiving touchdowns. 16 total scores for Josh Schlungen this year. Schuster on a 3rd and what they call 3rd and 3. Peek to the sideline, 4 down linemen. Walking pressure maybe from the linebackers. Snap comes, direct quarterback draw, left side, Schuster space, Schuster speed, Schuster breaks through. He'll be dragged down at the 15-yard line with a first down and 10 and a horse collar tackle flag maybe coming in. There's extra yardage possibly tacked on to this at the 15-yard line where it ends on the big-time run. 41 for Tyler Schuster.
Horse collar tackle. Defense number 44. Ball is half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. First down.
So the 41-yard run plus half the distance puts it at the 5 for a 1st and goal. The Bengals trying to run away with this one in half number 2. 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. They've scored once. Schlungen won't score here as he pushes a defender inside the 5-yard line. But he was met immediately in that hole by Cole Brown, this senior linebacker. 2nd down and goal to go from the 3. Big plays in the second half. 41 on the feet of Schuster. And 79 on his arm to Stepanek. Pitch to Schlungen. Cuts up field, stymied by the Trojans again. The pile tries to push, but the initial surge from the Trojans and Drew Streeter got it done to bring up a 3rd down and goal. Clock spinning down towards 4 minutes remaining. They say no gain. Yeah, they gave him 2 on the scoreboard. That doesn't look to be where the official's standing, but either way, it's goal to go from here. 3 bunch to the right. Schuster gonna run to the left, behind Schlungen in alignment, looking for the pylon, and he gets it. Touchdown, Bengals.
Takes it in from 2 yards away for a Bengal touchdown.
Just enough of a block from Schlungen to spring him to the edge. And for the 8th time with his feet this year, Tyler Schuster into the end zone.
Dahlman in to attempt the point after.
Parker Dahlman for the PAT. Another big play. 41 on the ground for Schuster. Sets up a 2nd score of the half. PAT is good for Dahlman. He is 4 for 4 today. And that one turns into a 6-play, 64-yard drive that takes just less than 3 minutes off the clock. 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And the Bengals find themselves up by 2 scores for the first time, 28-14. This is an offense that is averaged 44 points per game in the last 3. And they've been winning those games by an average of 28 points a contest. That's after they were scoring just 23 a game in their first 3 games. In a stretch in which they still went 2-1, but it's been dominance the last 3 weeks. 2nd quarter washed away now as they've got 2 drives and 2 touchdowns here in the 3rd. Bengal fans up and loving it. Under 4 to go. Don't forget that defensive stand. It wasn't the best field position they've had because they've had positive field position on 2 different touchdown drives in that first half. But it was still good field position.
Dahlman to kick off for the Bengals. Keep it back deep for the Trojans.
For the Bengals.
Bengal fans, everybody up for the kickoff.
And that defense quelling any potential drive from the Trojans. Sent the ball to their offense for a 2nd time this half. Line drive kick, make him return it. Comes to Diedrich, picks it up at the 10. He's got speed. Broke away from 1. He ain't getting away from number 9. And it is Will Fredrickson who meets him at the 15-yard line, stops the forward progress, and the whistles eventually blow. Apologize for the ain't, but Will Fredrickson, like his hair is on fire. He was jumping up and down before that kick. He was in that slot just to the right-hand side of the kicker. All sorts of energy, and he flew down and ended that potential return to the left side from Diedrich. 3:43 to go in the 3rd. Bengals up 2 scores. Defense trying to put their stamp on it here. The only threats have been 3rd down catches from Diedrich. Harvey wants to throw. Harvey pursued by Maffei. Got it into the helmet of a Bengal, and it's picked out of the air by Gressiff. He'll take it down inside the 10. That's Cody Foster, excuse me, who had the pick as it went off a Bengal helmet. Goal to go off the first takeaway of the game for that Bengal defense. And there's an emphatic stamp. And we'll see what the Bengals can do. And they're going to take this game not only out of the barn, but down the road here, as they're up 14 already with a golden opportunity to make it 3 scores. Schlungen's in the backfield. Myers to the right. Stepanek outside with Logan on the left. Extra tight end help to the right. They'll throw it left. Looking for Logan. Logan with a Stepanek block. Logan into the end zone. 1 play later. 3-score game. Bengals in control.
From 9 yards away.
Easy as you please. The 9-yard catch, block, and run.
Dahlman in to attempt the extra point.
And Spencer Logan, who we told you of his record-breaking ways in kick returns, puts the Bengals up 20. Dahlman makes it 21, and it's 35-14. The third quarter, a little better than the second for this Bengal offense, to say the least. They've got it figured out. Big plays, now a takeaway turned into points. Spencer Logan, the 9-yard touchdown reception. Logan's first catch, or second catch of the night, excuse me. He had that big 45-yard catch and run, 25-yard catch and run in the first quarter. So his 13th grab of the season and his first score. Spencer Logan into the end zone. One play drive, call it 5 seconds.
Back for the Trojans. For the Bengals. Bengal fans, everybody up for the kickoff.
9 yards. Fredrickson ready to go again, swinging the arms. Dahlman pops this one up, little mortar-style kick back towards the 30, trying to make a mistake, and the Trojans just fall on it. Make a mistake, keep it away from Diedrich, whatever you think. And Hayden Davidson falls on it instead.
Ball is down at the Trojan 25.
And so Wayzata gets it back. A drive that ended in a punt after 2 key third down pickups, and a drive that ended in a tip ball interception. That's been their second half so far. So here come the Trojans at their own 25. They'll run it with Richmond off the left side, and he piles his way out past the 30. He's living up to his 5-yard per carry stat.
Gain of 6 on the play.
That time picks up 6.
Second down.
Off the right-hand side now. And the first catch by somebody not named Diedrich is Luke Bodine, the tight end. At the 38. So it's first down and 10.
First down at the 38-yard line. First and 10.
Right side run for Richmond. He gets to the 40 before he's toppled over by Maffei.
To the 40-yard line, gain of 2.
Second down and 8 coming up. So the Trojans, what else are you going to do? You got to come out and run your offense. That's just the 13th play they've been able to run. They have obviously have more plays than the Bengals do in this second half. But the Bengals, a total of 11 plays so far. As another run bursts up the middle. Hard yards in the middle. 11 plays, but that has resulted in 3 scores, courtesy of 2 big plays and the interception in short field.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
Third down and 5 coming up. The Bengals make quick work of it here. Clock has continued to spin. If they get the ball back, they can easily take us to the 4th on the next possession. Richmond up the middle. He's short of a first down at the 47. Needed the 48.
Richmond, the ball carrier, picks up 4 on the play.
So it's going to be 4th down. They're going to go for it quick. Time's running short, and they're down by 3 scores. They'll snap it to Richmond. He's hit right in the hole, and he didn't get there. The defensive line again with a big play. And it's Fredrickson at the point of it. And he'll flex that cast on his left arm. And the offense loves it. Another short field for him coming out.
1st and 10 for the Bengals.
So from the 46, Minute 23 to go. And I said they could take it to the fourth, but the big plays, who knows? Schuster backpedaling, looking for Schlungen, who hauls it in with one hand and dances his way out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It's good to be a Bengal tonight as he rips it from Hayden Davidson. It was thrown back shoulder. He makes the adjustment. And a 24-yard miraculous pickup with one hand. What can you do?
First down.
As rough as things went with nothing but punts in the third, everything's going their, in the second, everything's going their way in the third. Two right, empty left, Schlungen to the right. Stepanek maybe as a blocker. They'll fake it there. Blitz forcing Schuster out. He rolls towards the end zone, and his receiver falls, and they'll draw the penalty. Two flags coming in. There's another flag back near the line of scrimmage. So Myers, the intended target, rolling to the right. And then the Laundry drops down. And there'll be a penalty, maybe one each way. We'll see. But a lot to sort out here. May just redo things on a first down and 10 from the 30. White hat. Ineligible downfield and pass interference. They'll offset. First down and 10 from the 30 again with a minute 8 to go. By the way, if you've seen the pictures, and obviously you have, that field, the paint crew leaving it all out there. This, all things being equal, with turf coming in next year, will be the final time that lauded paint crew of the Bengals would get a chance to put spray can to grass. And they got diamonds on the sidelines, eye-popping paw right in the middle of the field. Did it all on short notice last night. And it looks great for this Bengals final game as Schlungen will push it ahead on first down close to the 23-yard line. Picks up 7. Should be around 2nd and 3. They say 2nd and 2. Inside of 45 seconds to go in this third quarter. It's been all Bengals. 3 scores unanswered. We were tied at 14 at the half. It's now 35-14. Schuster to throw. Schuster drops back, finds Stepanek too high. See a flag come in? Yes, I did. So we were fairly penalty-free in the first. And now we've seen him hit the deck on 2 of the last 3 plays. It's a Bengal hold with Schuster rolling. So it would have been 3rd and 3. Instead, they'll move him back. And it'll be 2nd and long again with 32 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Three wide receivers with Schlungen in the backfield. It's 2nd and 14. Tight end right side. Give to Schlungen right up the middle. Angles his way towards the left, and a little hop out of a tackle as he was brought down around the ankles. Danny Sandall tripped him up. It will be 3rd down, and we'll do that 3rd and short in the 4th. 3 scores in the third quarter for the Bengals. They'll have a 3rd and short to keep a drive alive to start the 4th quarter, up 35-14. Back with the final 4th for the Bengals and Trojans here in 2020. After this, as you're watching high school football on North Metro TV. 12 minutes to go here in 2020 in the football season for the Blaine Bengals and Wayzata Trojans. J.W. Cox back with you here. Our hands up on the camera. Preston's back in studio. Technical help from Jerry Millington tonight as the Bengals put up 3 scores in the third to take a 21-point lead in this 35-14 game. And a 3rd down and 2 to open up the 4th quarter. Keep a drive alive and chew up some more clock. They'll sling it out towards Stepanek. It's tipped at the line and knocked down. The guy that's been flying around for the Trojans, Hayden Davidson, gets that tip. What are the Bengals going to do here? 4th and 2. Clock stops. 11:57 to go. Inside the 25. Bengal fans know what they want. They want to see Parker Dahlman. I don't think they're going to get it. Be a shade out of his range from here at the 22-yard line. Be a 39-yard field goal. Wouldn't put it past him. They'll go on 4th and 2. Schuster thinking design run, flips it to Schlungen late, and he'll go in for the score. Got him with it once in the first half and got him again here in the 4th on 4th down. Schuster looked design run, lead blocker Schlungen. He sheds the man he's blocking, and Schuster puts it in his belly. Touchdown from 22 out. And a 4-score lead, and they'll be within 3, or rather within 2 of what's been their average of 44 points a game the last 3 weeks. Dahlman sticks it up and through.
The kick is good, and the Keys are fouled.
5, chuckling at the PA announcer. Somebody lost their keys, and he said, kick is good, and keys are found. That's good. Everybody's having fun here in the second half at Bengals Stadium. 4-play drive that goes 54 yards, and they do it in 1 minute and 32 seconds. Bengals, and more Bengals here in the second half. Schlungen a 1-yard touchdown run after the 79-yard completion to Max Stepanek put him at the 1. That was their first drive. 3-yard touchdown run for Tyler Schuster. That was after his own 40-yard scramble to put him in scoring position. The interception by the defense, plucked out of the air off the helmet of a teammate by Cody Foster. 1 play later, a 9-yard touchdown pass to Spencer Logan. And now, after turning it over on downs, 46-yard field, Bengals on 4th and 2 pull the old jump pass off the quarterback draw. Second time they've done it in this game. I think it was the score, too. The 18-yard touchdown catch in the first half for Schlungen. And he goes in from 22 out. Kickoff taken by Diedrich at the 2-yard line. Angling to the near side. He's away from a couple of Bengals. Spins from 1 tackle, runs into his own blocker for a moment.
Diedrich on the return. There's a flag on the play.
Before he's swallowed up, there's a flag down. Finn McCauley made the stop. And we'll sort out where the Trojans will start this. So Schlungen now 2 through the air and 2 on the ground in this game. 4 more touchdowns. Gives him 13 in the final 4 weeks of the season now. And total touchdowns, 6 receiving, 12 rushing, 18 total scores. And the penalty on the Trojans will move them back, erase that good return to the 7-yard line, where they will start it with 11:42 remaining in this game and in the season. Bengals in the driver's seat to go out with a win after they were shut out in the second quarter. They've shut out the Trojans so far in the second half.
For the Trojans from their own 12-yard line, 1st and 10.
And they're up 4 scores. Harvey motions Richmond his tailback to the right. Gives it to him, trying to bounce off the left-hand side, going behind the left tackle, and he's dragged down eventually by Cody Foster. Richmond's been good, though, throughout this game. He pushes the football close to first down yardage. Looks like there's a Bengal slow to get off the field. Spot this at the 15 for a gain of 8 for Richmond. There is a Bengal down. Can't. No, it is. It's Cody Foster who made the tackle. So stops the clock with 11:29 remaining. Foster off. Now the Bengal defense ready to roll as the clock spins. Close to 11 minutes to go. Harvey takes the snap, looks to throw, fires it out, has a man, it's Bodine. He makes the catch and he's immediately tackled. Should be enough for first down yardage, but Studer brings him down at the 20. Minimal yards after the catch for Bodine. The tight end, he came in with 9 catches for 140 and a touchdown. So we go under 11 minutes to go in the fourth. First and 10 for the Trojans. Bengals up 42-14. Bodine again. This time he slips. He had Fredrickson bearing down on him.
Bodine on the reception.
Short gain to the 23. So a little quicker pace and the focus on the air for Ryan Harvey, who's looked good throwing the ball. The junior figures to be a piece of what the Trojans try to do next year. Yeah, I don't think all of a sudden they start flinging the ball all over the field. But that Diedrich to Harvey connection going to complement a run game real well. Diedrich, the tailback, trying to run off left side into a host of Bengals. Crosses the 25-yard line before Huber brings him down. Along with Zach Peterson.
Diedrich on the tackle.
The 26. 3-yard pickup. It's 3rd down and 8.
Gain of 4 brings up 3rd down.
3rd down and 4, excuse me. Diedrich's the tailback again. Julian Diedrich, slot to the right. Play fake, going left side or down the middle instead for Bodine, and he had it on his hip and he dropped it. Bring up 4th down, stops the clock with 9:38 to go. 4th down. Trojans staying on the field. Now the punt team coming on. That was there. Bodine had the first down and more. Looking to stride down the field. Josh Slungen. He's returned punts this year.
Smith into punt, Slungen back deep for the Bengals.
Mostly fair catches. Pretty much, I'm sure that's just all they're asking him to do. But wouldn't that cap things off for a season? Get a punt return touchdown too. Yet another way to score. There's 18 total touchdowns. And the Trojans had to run a guy on late, so they have to spend a timeout. The first of their 3 with 9:38 to go. Gave you some of these numbers off the top, but the Bengals will end this season with some top rankings when it comes to their team offense and also their main offensive threats in Schuster and Schlungen. Schlungen's 7th in the state overall in rush yards now, 2nd in all of 6A. The team in 6A, 7th in points coming in. That could potentially rise when all the dust settles. 5th in rush yards and 4th in total yards. Tyler Schuster tied for 2nd touchdown passes in 6A. Sports Den going inside, back to the basements. Good news there for all you Rick Palermo fans. He'll be back on the show more consistently. Schlungen. Fair catch. And for all the drama I was trying to build about maybe a punt return, he's got another fair catch. And we'll start to see some other Bengals into this game, no doubt, with 9:33 to go, up 42-14. 37-yard line, well, they'll start it. And they'll try to run this football, charge down this clock, and finish off this crazy season with a win. Hayden Zink is back out there. His tailback is Luke Hegestad. Whole different crew of wide receivers. Hegestad knifes his way to a hole on the left side and bursts out to the 46-yard line. A little patient run, definitive cut for Hegestad. And he picks up 9. That's what you're looking for. If you're Coach Law, yeah, you want to get these guys chances, but you also want to produce out there. Just 6 carries now for Hegestad. He had just 12 total yards coming in before that one. Picks up 9 with that one alone. Yeah, closer to 8, I'd say, with where the sticks are, because it's 2nd and about 2. 2 wide to the left, 1 to the right. Widest to the left is Cade Downey. Right-hand side all alone. Zank will give it to Hagestad, trying to knife his way again towards a hole. He just crosses the 45-yard line. They'll give him forward progress to the 46.
Hagestad picks up 1 on the play. 3rd down.
So it's 3rd and 1. Clock spins, minute gone already on this drive on those 2 plays. Bengals taking their time, but they need to pick up another long yard here. Game just crosses the 2-hour mark here. Bengals took control in the 3rd quarter. And scored for a 4th time. 2 plays rather, into the 4th quarter. Hagestad moves his way down to the 49-yard line. Picks up the 1st down. If you've just tuned us in, 1st quarter, 2 touchdowns for the Bengals. A 3-yard run for Josh Slungen, an 18-yard reception for Slungen. It was matched by 1 touchdown by the Trojans. Trojans were the only team to score in the 2nd quarter. 4-yard run by the quarterback Ryan Harvey, so we were tied at the break. And then the Bengals scored 3 times in the 3rd quarter. Slungen 1-yard run, Schuster 3-yard run, and a Spencer Logan 9-yard reception off the Cody Foster interception. Zink will keep running off right side. He welcomes some contact as he crosses into Trojan territory. Close to the 45. Spot him at the 46 on a gain of 4. Keeps the clock spinning. 2nd and manageable coming up. And then after the quarter ended with a 3rd down and short, Bengals turned it into a 4th and short, and a 22-yard pass from Schuster to Slungen opened the 4th quarter with a decisive score to make it 42-14. 5, make it 6 for 6 on the PATs for Parker Dahlman. Give to Hagestad, and he's ripped down. Drew Birkland pulled down the smaller Hagestad there. Junior, 5'10", 155. He's actually listed on the roster as a wide receiver. Bengals have plenty of those. Working him in the backfield here. Short loss.
3rd down for the Bengals.
Back at the 48. Third down. 2 left, 1 right. Zink will give it to Hagestad, and he's pulled down again for a loss back to the 50. Bring up a 4th down, and the Bengals will punt. Coming up on 5:40 to go. All academic at this point, getting some run deeper in the depth chart for the Bengals. See if the Trojans do the same or stick with some of those senior starters. They've been shut out in the 2nd half so far. After playing to a 14-14 tie in 1 half, the Bengals outscore them 28-0 in the 2nd so far. Fair catch called for on the punt and taken. Birkland makes that catch near the 25. And that's where the Trojans will take over. 5:10 remaining here in this game. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be on the air with volleyball and Spring Lake Park taking on Irondale. Already a win against the Knights this season. And they'll try to close their year with a win at Panther Stadium tomorrow. And you can catch it right here on North Metro TV. New quarterback is Austin Berthume into the game for the Trojans. Diedrich is the tailback. He'll throw out of it, finds Bodine. Dives ahead at the 35. Oh, they say he rolled out of bounds. Not sure about that. Well, he got a 1st down, so that's why they're going to stop the clock. It'll roll here, though. Berthume, also a senior, 6'6", 175. So here at the last few throws of his high school career. Chance at the last few throws. First down and 10, under 5 and spinning as the Trojans glimpse at the sideline. Bengals not as many reserve defenders in there. Over the middle, right to Diedrich. On the money to the 30+4, and he's down to the 26-yard line. 39 on the catch and run from Berthume to Diedrich. First and 10. Clock spins, 4.5 to go. Now Bengals, if they want to preserve this second half shutout, looks like they'll need a turnover. Maffei covers up Berthume and brings him down as the pass falls incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Maffei nearly got there. It was that defensive line that keyed the dominance in the third quarter as well. Don't forget that. I talked about it coming out of the half. There had been a number of times they were able to put pressure in the first half on the Trojans, but unable to finish that pressure with a negative play. One time on a bad snap, able to finish that one off. That was followed by a sack 2 plays later. Berthume firing it out to Diedrich, who makes the circus catch on the back shoulder and tumbles inside the 3-yard line down to the 2. 24 on the pickup. So they have connected now. For up over 50 yards on this drive alone. Coming up on 4 minutes to go. 1st and goal for the Trojans. From the 2. Motion the other Diedrich, the tailback, into the backfield to the right. Rolling throw, Berthume, caught by Diedrich in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. Well, that was pretty quick for Berthume and Diedrich. The senior reserve quarterback comes in and marches the Trojans down the field to the tune of 75 yards in 1 minute and 14 seconds. 5 plays, 75, 1:14 off the clock. And a 2-yard pass to Diedrich. Extra points, up and good. And it's 42-21. Give the Trojans credit. It's also their last run at it here. They got the defensive stop against the Bengal reserves, bring in their 2nd-string quarterback, and he marches him down the field. For Diedrich, that's his 6th receiving touchdown of the season. First passing touchdown of the game for the Trojans. And 3:56 to go. Now you're in the situation where the Bengals, with 2 first downs or so, can end this game if they can keep the football. Well, get the football. We'll see what the Trojans have up their sleeves here. Or do we finish up in a Roseville-type situation where the 4th quarter of that one flopped back and forth, though it had been decided. 3-score game right now. And that one fallen on by the Bengals a little early, and the Trojans will get it. The Trojans couldn't touch it until 10 yards. The Bengals tried to fall on it to make it a non-issue. Nathan Carlson, who made a tremendous play on a punt in the first half. Check that. Dylan Kolb fell on it before 10 yards and couldn't maintain it. And so now the Bengals back on defense. Trojans down 3 scores with 3:56 to go. Take over at their own 48. Berthume again. You know he wants to throw. Right side, in and out of the hands of his intended target, Jack Kinsey. Christian Kazvaharn, excuse me. Christian Kazvaharn, 6'1" senior wideout. 2nd down and 10. Right side, pitch and catch, Berthume to Berthume. And it's down to the 30-yard line. Hunter on the receiving end of the pass from Austin. And it's an 18-yard pickup. And Austin Berthume is putting together a whole half here on 2 drives. Clock spins. So it's still a 3-score game, 42-21. Onside kick after the quick score has the Trojans driving again here in the 4th. Austin Berthume trying to escape pressure, thrown across his body and nearly intercepted. It was there for Isaac Moyne, and he just couldn't grab it. A couple taps of the head. He's had a handful of picks already this season. Stops the clock with 3:20 to go. Good pressure from the Bengals.
Brings up 2nd down.
Bengals a big 3-score 3rd quarter. Tacked on 1 to start the 4th. But the Trojans just put up a touchdown with their reserve quarterback, got the extra point. And now driving again to a 2nd and 10. Just 3:20 remaining in this game. Berthume looking to throw, has all kinds of time. Flings it over to the right side and finds Hunter again. The Berthume connection down to the 20. Picks up a 1st down. Clock, we'll see if it spins. Trojan faithful on the far side. It's been a tough season. We mentioned this is their 5th game against a top 10 team. They're 0-4. They're 3 minutes away from going 0-5. Still down 3 scores driving here. Berthume rips it over the middle to Bodine. Touchdown Trojans with 3:10 to go.
Pass is complete to Bodine.
And it's about to be, it is already a 2-score game now with 3:10 to go. 20-yard touchdown catch. Berthume to Bodine. Extra point, big every time and critical here. It's up and good. We lose an official at some point, by the way. There's only one guy standing under the uprights there, and I only see 4 of them. Interesting. So that drive off the onside kick. 5 plays, 52 yards, and it took just 46 seconds. Now an onside kick try again coming up. Bengals, we'll see what they learned from the last one. The last onside kick didn't go the requisite 10 yards, but the Bengals touched it first. And the Trojans were able to then step onto the football. Nearly had an interception. To be honest, even recovering this doesn't completely end the game, depending on if the starters come back in there. Bengals will still have to pick up a couple of 1st downs. This time, the Hands team lives up to the name. Bengals will take it. Who else but Max Stepanek on the Hands team? Stepanek had the big 79-yard catch and run in the 3rd quarter that set up the first Bengals score on that opening drive. It was the 2nd play of the half after Schuster had been stuffed for no gain on a quarterback draw. He drops back, hits Stepanek down the seam for 79 yards to the 1. Here the Bengals will take over. And starters are back out there. Not going to mess around. There's Schlungen. Top 5 in all of 6A in rushing. Give it to him again, and he piles past the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
Brings up 2nd down.
Be 2nd and 4. Couple of 1st downs. Trojans do still have 2 timeouts. They're down 2 scores. They've made it such with 2 touchdowns inside the final 5 minutes here. 2 right, 1 left. Tight end on the right side. Schuster waiting as long as he can to wind things down. Give it to Schlungen. Schlungen trying to pile ahead and push that pile. Gets a surge close to the 40. Moving it still. No whistle coming, and they'll let this scrum just move inside the 35. Well, did the Trojans come out with that football? A Trojan burst out of the pile with it. The officials weren't blowing the whistle, and it's Trojan football. Holy cow, the Bengals were excited because of the extra shove. No forward progress whistle that maybe could have come any time over the final 5 yards to bring the play to a stop. And instead, Trojans hold them up, hacking at the football, and in a 2-score game with 2:09 to go, Wayzata takes over at their own 35. Mercy sakes. 3 minutes ago, we were looking at heading to the parking lot. The Trojans have said, not so fast. Scooped about half the chocolate sauce off this Sunday for the Bengals to end the year. See what they can do. Berthume looking to throw, going deep right side, has a man, and Hunter just has it tip off his fingers. Trojan sideline wanted a flag. Luke Johnson in coverage. 2:04 remaining. 2 timeouts for the Trojans in a 2-score game. They've scored twice since the 5:10 mark. Trojan defensive line, rather the Bengal defensive line, looking for a push here. You know the Trojans want to throw it with the senior Berthume. Play fake, pressured, he'll escape, all kinds of room. Takes a hit from Luke Johnson just shy of the 45. That'll keep the clock moving as well. Good job by Johnson to end that play as quick as he could. Don't let Berthume to get to the outside. The senior probably should have made his way to the boundary there. At the 44, that's somewhat less than 250, trying to make some noise here at Bengal Stadium. Shovel pass picked up by Bodine. He makes a move inside of a man and tumbles into Bengal territory at the 49. That'll pause the clock. All the stops and the kitchen sink coming out for the Trojans with 91 seconds to go in the season. Down 14 just into Bengal territory. They've picked up an onside kick and taken it away with a fumble so far. Berthume deep down the right has Diedrich and just overthrew him. Off his fingertips, he'd beaten his man. And Diedrich, who has been the target of note all night, has it fall to the turf in front of him. With 80 seconds to go.
Second down.
Just can't help but chuckle and tip your cap to the Trojans and their backup quarterback who came in 3 drives ago and has produced 2 scores. Play fake. Nowhere to go yet. Keeping it rolling. He'll just chuck it out. If he had waited an extra second, it looked like Hunter Berthume had broken loose. But Austin Berthume makes the decision to throw it away. It'll be 3rd down and 10 from the 49 of the Bengals. Minute 13 to go. 2 timeouts for the Trojans. Bengals up 14. 2 wide right. Everybody's become a target now, but the top target, Diedrich, in the slot right. Looking to go quickly over towards Hunter Berthume, and that one, so far, that's the only bad pass, really, that Austin Berthume has thrown. He has been on the money or just a hair off. That one chunked into the ground in front of his intended target. Here's a 4th and 10. And finally, well, the Bengals will take a timeout because, as I was about to say, finally, with a stop here and turning the football back to the offense with less than a minute 10 to go, you ought to be able to say it's done at that point, even in a 2-score game, and what the Trojans have done to make this one tight. They would finally feel good about it if they can get a stop here. The Trojans, you don't have to get the whole thing as far as a touchdown goes right here. And they get a 1st down just inside the 40-yard line of the Bengals. This has been a hallmark of Bengal football this season. Fourth quarters that have had their intrigue, let's say. And they've all turned into wins, the ones that we have seen. The Bengals have won every game that we have shown on North Metro TV. Roseville, Centennial, Osseo, and now this one. Still a little bit in the balance, though, for this play right here. That fourth quarter against Maple Grove, it was the Bengals trying to make a furious comeback in the only game they've lost this year. Perfume to throw. Pressure coming in from the edges. Got to him, and it's intercepted. Either way, it's Bengal football. They'll say no, but they stop him on fourth down as the defense collapses around the edge. It's Maffei and Huber meeting at the quarterback to force it out of the hand quickly. And some big high fives and some sighs of relief with 1:04 to go. And now the Bengals with 2 timeouts for the Trojans. 1 first down likely can do it here. And they're actually lining up for victory formation to see if they can just get it done with that. There's the knee. No timeouts for the Trojans. And so they'll be able to do that twice. And they're already shaking hands. Well, the Trojans will take a timeout. Why not, right? They've got 2. Stops the clock with 49.5 seconds to go. So it'll be 2nd down and 12. So remember, tomorrow we'll do this again with the final game of the year for the Spring Lake Park Panthers and Irondale Knights. This game moving towards 8:30 here. 2.5 on the time of the game. Something tells me that 7 o'clock kick at Panther Stadium, with the way the Irondale Knights and the Spring Lake Park Panthers operate, we might be done with tomorrow's game that starts an hour later about this time. That's how things roll over there in Spring Lake Park. Join us for that one, same way you're watching this one. Of course, both of these games moved from Saturday up 2 days to get them in. 49.5 seconds to go, a 2nd down victory formation. Schuster will take it, walk back, drag a couple of extra seconds with him. And will the Trojans call it timeouts? They've got 1 left, and it looks like they will mercifully take that one into the offseason with them. And I believe that means we do not need a snap. Well, they do it anyway, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and that will end the game. That is how it comes to a close. The Blaine Bengals will win 5 straight to finish 2020 after starting 1-1. They had the best record in the Metro North at 4-1, and now with their 6th win of the season, they beat the Wayzata Trojans and will take a final victory with them into the off season. As there is a trophy. Again, it was interesting. So this is a de facto section title game this year. Just this round was determined as that. So the Bengals can take that how they want it. They win. They'll get some hardware, and they finish it off. Final score, 42-28. Big days again for who else but Josh Schlungen as he goes into the end zone twice through the air, twice on the ground, and a big 3rd quarter is the difference for the Bengals. 42-28, the final. They finish up the season 6-1. The Trojans are 2-5. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for both volleyball and football here on North Metro TV. For Rand up top, Preston back in studio, I'm J.W. Cox. Thanks so much for joining us. Bengals win out the door of this crazy 2020 fall and finish with a victory. You watched it all right here on North Metro TV. Good night, everybody.